How's it going, everybody? It's Adam at ECRN Garage. Last video, I finally got a couple of speed tests done on our B44 race engine in my street bike frame. Here's the race bike back there, looking all sad and dilapidated. Anyway, in third gear, we were able to get 70 mile an hour out of this thing, which was about the top speed in fourth gear with the stock engine, which is hanging out over there. When I shifted in the fourth gear, it flattened right out, so what I could tell, I'd tried a couple of things. It seems like it was running out of fuel. So this race engine has the stock 930 carburetor on it and the stock high pipe. So the carburetor and exhaust that came with this engine is a 932 carburetor, which is a little bit bigger with the velocity stack, and it came with this BSA, the low pipe, that's tuned to length, and it came with a megaphone muffler that is wide open and had the end cap removed. So I'm going to put these two pieces on this bike today and to see if I can get more top end out of it. That carburetor was on this engine, and the intake is hogged out a bit, so I think the engine with the hot cam is just can't pull enough fuel through that stock carburetor. So we're going to do a couple little changes here and see if we can we get another day that's not below freezing to take it out to our closed course and see if we can get this thing up over 80. I think we should do a little before and after sound clip. We haven't had this thing going in couple of weeks, so it's pretty cold today. It might start right up, but let's give it a little prime. There's no decompression on this anymore, so I just let the weight of my leg push it through. So made a little noise. See, it's -2 here today. It's pretty cold for this thing, but no choke and no decompression. So. Alright, let's get this tank off so we can get up to the carburetor and that pipe. I was planning on sharing this tank with the race bike. Actually, this tank I did buy for the race bike. And I decided to go back to a more stock tank on this. I had a modified Honda tank on it. So I decided to put this tank, it's off at actually a 250, but the 441s apparently were just a punched out 250. So everything matches up on these, but there's a guy in our bike club who has I think one of the yellow and silver chrome tanks. So what I think I'm going to do, I might use that one if he's still willing to part with it on the race bike, and just leave this one on my street bike. So the other one is a bit older looking, but the yellow Victor style, the 441 style. So we'll see what happens with that, but I'll just take this off for now. There, now I can get at that carburetor a whole lot easier. So we'll take the air cleaner off. Gas lines are done. See if I can get the top of the carb off here. Trick with these carbs is the studs are at a perfect length for the primer on the carburetor, so you have to start the nuts with the carburetor slid out a bit first, and then you can, once you get the nuts started, you can push the carburetor in. Don't have the proper sealant for this as per usual, but so for right now I just put some high temp sealant on it. This is just going to be for another test run, so as long as it seals it a little bit, keep the air leaks out of the manifold. And once I put it on the race bike, I'll get the proper stuff put on it. I'll put a phenolic spacer, or however you say that, for it helps keep the heat transfer from the engine into the carburetor, and can cause all kinds of stuff. So you can buy the phenolic spacers for these. I'm not saying it right. Saying it like how it's spelled. So now we'll have a bigger carburetor going over, tighten these carbs like every other one, because you can actually work them. The float bowls, the older ones seem to be a little sturdier than the newer ones. So I tend not to over tighten them. I just kind of snug them up, let them sit, snug them up a little more without torquing the heck out of them and destroying your carburetor. The new ones are definitely, if you tighten the bowls up too tight, they'll definitely warp, and then you'll have to dress everything up to get it to seat again. I had one on a 56 Triumph. I had a flathead TRW, and it actually happened. I overheated the engine climbing up a couple of steep mountains on a overnight club ride, and on around the world famous Kappa Trail. And I actually warped the float bowl. I had to doctor it up with sealant until I got home. And then I just sanded it down on a piece of flat glass with some wet paper, sandpaper, until I got it from rocking back and forth. Alright, that's going to be tight enough for now. So I'll get the slide, throttle cable and everything back onto that, and then we'll work on the exhaust. Alright, got the carb on, got the fuel lines back on, I got the slide in. Everything's been turning like it should. Alright, put the cigarette butt catcher back on here. I'll probably either take the screen out of this velocity stack or get another velocity stack that doesn't have this knurled edge, just so I can get maximum airflow into this carburetor when the time comes to get it back on the race bike. These threads are pretty fine. Gotta get them just right so they'll screw on. Well, would you just get on there? Alright, longest part of the carb change is getting the stupid stack on. Alright, velocity stack done. I guess that's all working. I can start taking the exhaust off. This whole exhaust is held on by one clamp bolt that's goes to the frame, and here I just had a, this isn't an actual Victor frame, there's no mount here. Actually there was a mount on this, this was a Victor frame. There was a mount on this for the exhaust, but it was cut off at one point, and then when I got this powder coated, I just ground it down and smoothed it out. So let's see what size that muffler socket is. Gas tank back on, fuel lines on, tighten up them lines and see if we can get everything to stir up here. So good. Alright, the timer works. Alright, I'm going to move the camera and see if I can start this thing up. Alright, let's see if she'll get going with the new carbon exhaust. Give it a shot of gas. That's a wrap.